Imagine transforming your stress and chaos into a harmonious masterpiece with just pen and paper. What if the act of drawing could rewire your brain, leading to profound personal growth and clarity? Well, today I'm thrilled to welcome you, Patima, not only a distinguished practitioner of NeuroGraphica, which we'll talk about in a second, but also a dear friend. A groundbreaking method she's going to share with us today that fuses art and psychology to tap into your subconscious mind. And she did it with me, and I'm telling you, it worked. In this episode, we're going to explore how the simple act of drawing lines leads to emotional healing and cognitive restructuring. What is the science behind NeuroGraphica? What is it? I didn't know it before I met Patima. And how you can incorporate this artistic practice into your daily routine to enhance mindfulness and personal development. I'm very excited to share this episode with you because, as mentioned, Patima has done this exercise with me and it worked. Prepare to embark on a journey that blends creativity with neuroscience, offering you tools to reshape your inner world. Please join us in welcoming the insightful Patima. Hi, Patima. Welcome to the Rise Up For You podcast.
Hello, Nada. Thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely. Okay, for those of you that are listening, let me give you a little bit of a backstory. Patima literally manifested my fiancé and soon-to-be husband. So like a year and not even a year and a half ago, maybe like, almost a year and a half ago.
Almost.
Patima and I, we were sitting together. We built a friendship here in Las Vegas. We were connected through mutual friends. And we went to lunch together. And I expressed that, at the time, one of my biggest challenges was, just finding love. Like that's an area that I think has always been a challenge for me, like running a business and, just kind of always on the go. And Patima did this exercise with me that we're going to talk about today. And literally a month later, I had this message from now my fiance, and we started talking and building a relationship. And now I'm getting married in like a couple weeks. And I firmly believe it's because of Patima and some of the work that we did together. So before we really jump in, Patima, tell the audience a little bit just about yourself and who you are and what you do.
Okay, I am Patima Williams, and I am a psychologist as well and art therapist. But lately, last 5 years, let's say, I moved to NeuroGraphica method. So I work with my clients and as well with myself first. I tried this method and it worked out well. So now I am working using this method with clients around the world, manifesting, attracting, and solving problems, achieve the goals.
I love that. So for those of you that are listening, you might not know because I had no idea. Patima, tell us, like, what is neographic design?
Okay, NeuroGraphica method, it's a psychology and creativity.
Okay.
So while we draw a certain way, we create the desired outcome. And there is certain structure which we have to follow to get the result.
Okay. So tell us a little bit, because it's so fascinating. You're the first person I've ever met that does this. I didn't know anything about it. I'm curious to know, like, who was Patima when she was in high school? Like, how did you kind of get to where you are?
Okay, I was very active. And first of all, I grew up in Russia. Okay. And I've been very active and leading the school programs for the students as well.
Okay.
And then in some moments, I think I kind of got behind of things. It was a personal issue.
Yeah.
And then the life turns in different way.
Yeah.
And I went to university, college, got married, and then my life became a little bit chaos.
Yeah. And so how
that happy girl, I became the grown woman, but kind of lost in the new environment, in the new city.
Yeah. Were you lost because did you get lost because you moved from your environment? Like you moved from Russia to America, or like what was that process?
Yes, I moved from Russia to Dubai, and I lived in Dubai for over 25 years.
Wow. So
Yes,
you were there before like the Burj Khalifa was put up, right? Like you were
yes,
there before Dubai is what it is today.
exactly. Yes, yeah, I was there, and then it's a different environment, different culture, and different lifestyle.
Yeah.
And then when I moved to USA, it's really I was in a big challenge.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, and that's the time when I start learning about NeuroGraphica and digging more to see what is it, because no therapy, no any other, let's say, methods were helping me to be who I am and to feel the way I want to feel and I used to feel. So that's how I started my journey with NeuroGraphica.
How did you find it though? Like, how did you discover it? Did you just research online or did somebody introduce you to it?
Yes, some of my friends, also mutual friends, they told me, because I used to do the therapy consultation for moms, because I also work with the as a speech therapist for disabled kids. You know, they don't speak, so I help them to start speaking. And so I used to work a lot with the moms, young moms. And then one of the parents told me, Patima, there is such a great method in Russia taking, you know, off and becoming very popular, where you can in a short time change certain things in your life, and not only change, but you can also create the environment that you can reach your goals and become completely different, you know,
Mm.
from the point you are, and to get, like, to jump, let's say, like quantum leap, you know. So I started uh, kind of doing my own research as a psychologist and as a teacher. I was like, okay, it can't be that easy. And then it took me a year until I understood how it works. And I joined the program by author, and he's a PhD doctor psychologist and based in Moscow. So apparently he had the whole Institute of Art and Psychology, and it's a huge program. And so I started working on myself, because that's why I started, join the program. And then I started practicing with the friends around who really requested that to use with them. And I start becoming, first of all, improving myself,
Yeah.
and then improving the environment around me.
Yeah, that's something that I really appreciate about you, Patima, is that you start with yourself. And I think that in our space, which I would consider like, personal, professional development, self-help, unfortunately, there's a lot of people out there that they don't use the methods on themselves. Like they're not a practice, right?
Yeah.
Someone that practices what they preach, right? And
Yes.
one thing that I noticed with you is that you are constantly like in this growth mindset. You're constantly evolving yourself. You're constantly pushing yourself. You're very kind. Like you just have a really good energy around you, which I think is really important, especially in this line of work. And I mean, it's so fascinating and you're really good at it. Cause I remember when we did the NeuroGraphica, I was just like, I didn't really know what I was doing at the time until you were teaching me. And I remember like drawing a circle and you were like, why did you do that? And then you were able to like kind of decipher how I drew the circle. But it was true. Like what you said was true. I was like, oh my gosh, how did you crack this code? So for those of us, for those that are listening, is this something that you can walk us through? Do we need can you walk us through something on air together, or do we have to do it like in person? What does that look like? I'd love for you to like share a little bit now.
Well, it's not that fast. Like I can say, first of all, there is so much on YouTube, so you can find about NeuroGraphica. But as I see, it's also a lot of myth that NeuroGraphica is just an art for healing.
Yeah.
You can draw any kinds of like chaos lines, let's say. But here's the main point: in NeuroGraphica, we don't use any kinds of lines, because we are breaking through the old pattern of thinking, obstacles, and boundaries. So there is a certain pattern of the line which we need to practice a little bit, and then we get through that obstacles,
Mm-hmm.
And then we start shaping what we want to have, what we want to attract, what we want to manifest. So it's a kind of a process which takes about 30 minutes minimum to 50 minutes, and you have to sit and start from A to Z and finish it. So it's very intensive work of subconscious and conscious mind meeting in the middle and creating that huge manifesting process.
Mm-hmm.
So I would love to do the, of course, like right now, but I think it would confuse a little bit people. So
Mm-hmm.
maybe I would be happy to get online
Yeah.
and provide, like, let's say, very short 30 minutes, maybe someday we can, schedule
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
do that, from my side, so people know what is it about.
Yeah, and we'll put it in the show notes. We'll put like your email and your information, and then anyone that wants to go through the exercise, which I highly recommend, you can reach out to Patima. But if you were to say, like, if somebody is listening right now and they want to maybe explore it, what should they do? Should they like go to YouTube? Should they take out a piece of paper and start? Like, is there anything they can start?
Uh, First of all, I would like highly recommend, let's say, to avoid doodlies. Doodlies, right?
Yeah, like doodling.
Yeah, doodling. No doodling in NeuroGraphica at all, because we are avoiding repeating uh, actions.
Okay.
So, and doodlies in NeuroGraphica, we associate with like loops where you round and round and round, and you cannot find the solution.
Got it.
So if you can go online and check, but I have on my NeuroGraphica, let's say, Instagram page, a lot
Okay.
of free lessons, like one by one, where you can start from very basic steps, and start even practicing to see out of curiosity what is it, and try to practice that line. I would recommend our audience to do that, and then you use the shapes, circles, and circles would be your goals, what you want to achieve, what do you want to attract. So those lines, they kind of pave that pathway to your
Hmm.
desires.
Yeah.
It opens up the possibilities and opportunities right there in that moment.
Now, do you do NeuroGraphica for like each pillar of your life? Like, I remember when you and I did it, it was specifically like around love and relationships. When you work with your clients, is it something where NeuroGraphica is for every area or goal, for example? Or is it possible to just do like one big NeuroGraphica for like the entire scope of someone's life?
uh, that's the uniqueness of NeuroGraphica, that we pick the topic, that the most pressing topic of your life in this moment, let's say in present. Maybe some people, they are struggling with finance, or they are building up business, and they want to have certain income or certain way to lay that business. Or somebody is working on relationship or on the health. So you have different algorithms for each request, and the same time we have, like, I could come up online and say, okay, today we are drawing, let's say, reaching the goals. So each can get their own topic and work through that algorithm on your own personal issue, but in a huge group as well. So it could be personal, like focus exactly on you individually, on your request,
Yeah.
or it could be everyone sitting in the same, like, in the, let's say, in the room, and I'm giving you the algorithm, and you are each working on your own.
I love that. I love
Yes, it's something, it's very unique. It's been only 10 years now that this method, and only now, because we are not as many as we wish, like Russian English speaking instructors, because I am licensed for that as a coach, and as an instructor I can teach basic course, licensed and certified. And the same time I can coach the groups, businesses, companies, the individuals. So we are very small amount who can right now, in this period of time, to start leading this program in
Yeah.
English.
Yeah. Well,
So
I feel pretty blessed that we did it together. It was just like organically. We were at the country club and And I remember when I remember when I started dating somebody, I was like, Patima, it was, and it was like literally 6 weeks later, which was amazing.
Yeah.
Patima, I really appreciate you coming on the podcast. I want to jump into the power section of the interview. So it's just like a couple rapid fire questions.
Okay.
So one question that I have for you is, if you were to leave the world with like one final message, we call it your golden nugget, what would be the last thing you would say to us?
You are the creator. You can change your life anytime if you really decide to change, and everything is in your power, within you.
I love that. And one question that's a new question that I've been asking people is, if this is a new question, is what makes you cry on demand? Like, what makes you just instantly cry?
Instantly cry. It's a tough question.
Yeah. Yeah. If nothing, that's okay too. Whatever comes to mind for you.
Yeah, I instantly cried that I'm far away from my mom.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I can cry because I'm really happy that who I am and what I'm doing right now in this short period of time, and creating around me, within me and around me.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
really makes me also cry. Like, it's goosebumps, it gives me like, wow, I didn't believe, like, let's say 2-3 years even back, that I could be, doing what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, I love that. Patima, one more question for you. But before I ask, tell the audience where we can connect with you. I know you have your Instagram and any other place that we can find you.
Yes, I am Patima Williams. It's on Facebook. I have also group, and mainly right now I am on NeuroGraphica, NeuroGraphics by Patima.
Okay, perfect. So we'll put that in the show notes for everybody.
Instagram.
Highly recommend you contact Patima. Final question for you is, as you know, Patima, we're the company Rise Up For You. What comes to mind for you when you hear that phrase?
Yes, yeah. I've been following your channel also and listen the podcast, and it really resonates with me, because Rise Up For You, it's like you just say it loudly, let yourself to say what you want, allow yourself to say what you want,
Mm.
and just don't be hiding.
Yeah, don't be. I love that. Patima, thank you so much for joining us today on the
Thank you
podcast.
so
Can't,
much,
you're
Lara.
welcome. I can't wait to have lunch with you soon.
Yes.
And thank you, everyone, for joining the Rise Up For You podcast. Again, this is Nada Lena, your host. Every single week, we are bringing you brand new episodes with thought leaders, entrepreneurs, executives from around the world that pour their heart into helping you be your absolute best. Thank you again, and I'll see you next time. Thank you, Patima.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Hey, I hope you enjoyed today's podcast. Before you leave, don't forget to subscribe to our podcast and YouTube channel, and check us out on social media. We are everywhere, from LinkedIn to Instagram to Facebook, at our simple handle at Rise Up For You. On every single platform, it's exactly the same. And we're providing new content on every single platform, so there's something different everywhere. So don't forget to subscribe to our channel, subscribe to our podcast, and connect with us on social media. I'll see you next time.